So now I'm standing just a little bit outside the ring. The ring is behind me, and I'm in Schwarzenbergplatz, which is named for Prince Karl Philipp of Schwarzenberg, who was one of the leading Austrian commanders in the forces that finally defeated Napoleon in the Napoleonic Wars. So in 1867, they erected a statue to him over there, which you really can hardly see because, in my opinion, this is one of the worst laid out squares in all of Vienna. It's just full of these little like weird traffic islands, and you absolutely take your life in your hands when you try to walk across it. All kinds of streetcars are running through here. It just makes no sense, and it's scary. But you know, can't win every time. Most of the squares in Vienna are really nice. And then behind us here, and again, you can't really see it, but behind us here was the summer palace of Prince von Schwarzenberg. And in the days when he built it, this was very rural. So there's actually his summer palace back there, and then the summer palace of Prince Eugene of Savoy is behind that. And this was a very rural, very quiet area, and then the city has grown out to meet it. So the things that are blocking the view of the palace are actually extremely interesting in and of themselves. So this is what is called the Hochstrahlbrunnen, which means the high jet fountain. And it was built in 1873 in order to celebrate the completion of a big part of Vienna's city water infrastructure. And Vienna actually has some of the best tap water in the world. Like literally mountain spring water comes out of the taps in Vienna because they've channeled it from the Alps. And so they built this fountain to celebrate the fact that they had made big strides in like sort of getting that whole system together. And that's the system that is still basically in use today. So, you know, it really was a very good system that has lasted a long time. And so all the different jets have a meaning. They're all the 365 jets around the outside to represent the days of the year, and then there are 24 jets on the inside to represent the hours in the day, and then 30 jets for the days of the month, and then 12 jets for the months of the year, and then the middle one in the center is just meant to represent a year. And this is a very beautiful fountain. When it's lit up at night, it's particularly gorgeous, and which is nice because the rest of Schwarzenbergplatz kind of really sucks, and so the fountain really makes up for that quite a bit. And then behind this, and it's actually very conveniently obscured by the fountain because the Viennese actually hate this memorial. This is the memorial to the Red Army, the Soviet Army, to commemorate the soldiers who fell during the Battle of Vienna in 1945. So what happened was that the Soviets came in from the east and liberated the city of Vienna, and they actually planned this monument even before the battle happened. Right? They knew that they were going to have to do this, and they knew that they were going to lose guys, and so they planned this monument in advance. It was put up shortly after the battle, so in August of 1945, and this part of the Schwarzenbergplatz was actually, from 1945 until 1956, was called Stalinplatz. And it's because it's really dominated by this Russian memorial. And you can see that it's in the Soviet realist style, or the socialist realist style. And the basic idea behind socialist realism is that it's supposed to be a very accessible form of art that depicts the common people in a very glorious way. So this is a very normal soldier, but he's really represented as a hero. Also, it tends to be very reminiscent of classical sculpture, again, as that way of sort of glorifying it, and also because classical sculpture has very beautiful proportions, and most people like to look at it. The idea is you're supposed to like to look at socialist realist art. And you can see up there that the inscriptions there are all in Russian. And that has led to some speculation that the Soviets intended that Vienna would stay under their control, and the idea was that after a certain amount of time, everybody would speak Russian, and so everybody would be able to read it. Nobody quite knows what the Soviets had in mind for Vienna as far as staying or going. That's one of those historically sort of controversial topics. But in any case, it's all in Russian except for a very small plaque below. As I said, the Viennese hate this monument because when the Soviet army came into Vienna and quote-unquote liberated, they actually basically raped and pillaged and looted their way through Vienna. These were very young soldiers who came from very rural areas in Russia. They were very inexperienced, and They were also, the Soviets were really angry about what had happened to them during World War II. They felt that Germany and Austria owed them reparations, so when they came here, they basically took whatever they wanted. And because of the way the people were treated by the Red Army, the Viennese called this the tomb of the unknown plunderer. But when they got their freedom from the four powers in 1955, part of the deal was that they pledged perpetually to maintain this monument. So they're stuck with it. It's still here.